That's it. I don't know. I don't know how to describe Pa. You got to see the film. I have no idea how to describe Pa because it's funny. I mean, it's like it's not a lateral film, or it's not a different film. It's not that kind of a film. But it's different only because I think the relationships that we're exploring here are different because of the characters playing them. You know, I mean, there have been a lot of father-son films, and there have been a lot of father-son-mother films. But here there are characters who are that are playing them who are so different. You know, because their real-life personality also makes the film very, very different. Because this is father-son, and Vidya is very, very young. So actually, to make them play the father-mother of Amitabh Bachchan is an experience in itself. So I think Pa is a trip. I don't know. I think Ilayaraja as a composer, one of the very few music directors in this country who still he still does his own background score. A lot of music directors in the country who just do songs, they don't do the background score for their films. Ilayaraja has always done the background score for his film, and he's a master at that. And the background score for this film is actually going to be, I think, vintage Ilayaraja, because it is a film that requires this kind of music. More than him doing a great job, it requires that kind of music. And he has produced some fabulous songs for this film. I believe in Indian cinema, stars are bigger than the characters you create for them. Amitabh Bachchan will be Amitabh Bachchan, much as he may want to play some of the characters. So I believe in writing films for actors. This is a film that was written for Amitabh Bachchan, Vidya and Abhishek Bachchan. This was written with the three of them in mind. And if I didn't have one of them doing it, this film wouldn't have happened, number one. Second, the thought of this film came about actually when I went to discuss something about Chini Kama. I had gone to Amarji's office and I was sitting there, and Abhishek kind of came along. And for once in his life, he was serious about something, which he rarely is. So he's just sitting there very seriously, and his dad was playing the fool. So I looked at it, and this was the guy who was looking very mature. I didn't know him at that point in time. I would never have thought of this film if I did know him. So he was just looking at him and giving him some serious vibes, and his dad was pulling his leg. So I said, actually, hey man, if I ever did a film, I must find some excuse to make this guy the father. It was just a germ of a thought, which I told them, and they were very interested. But I didn't have a reason to do this film. I didn't want it to be a fantasy film. I wanted it to be a very real film. So actually I remember a friend of mine having a son who had some similar problem. I really didn't pay attention to the problem at that point in time when he told me this. But when I went back to the friend and I discovered that that was not the problem, I said, does your son have an aging problem? Does he age a little faster? He said, no, but there is a disease like this. I mean, there is an ailment like this. So he consulted a doctor friend of his, and the doctor told me to go to Google it, find out about this disease, find out about all this stuff. So I actually found a damn good excuse. Of course, I've taken creative licenses with this particular ailment. This film is not about progeria. It's about a character called Oro who's got a version of progeria. And progeria is not, they're not specific kind of symptoms, and this is the way it goes, but there are lots of different kinds of progeria. And we have obviously taken creative license to that. So this is not an ode, or, this is sensitive to the ailment. This is very sensitive to the child. But it is not about educating people on progeria. This film is not about that. And today, Amitabh Bachchan is not playing the angry young man or the comedian that he was playing. He's experimenting with a lot of things. So the face of Amitabh Bachchan has changed too in a lot of ways. And this is the best time you can change little things. What we decided to do is, all of us said, okay, let's remove everything out of Amitabh Bachchan. Okay, not just his voice, not just his face, everything. That's Amitabh Bachchan. And it's a fabulous tribute to this man, because it's a lot of people have done roles as, either retarded children or, handicapped people. A lot of people have done that stuff. But to remove for an actor like this, who's he's so identified with his mannerisms, his voice, his way of talking, every movement of his is one iconic thing. For him to undo every bit and make sure Amitabh Bachchan does not creep out of that particular role is a fabulous achievement. And I think that is the tribute to the actor. Progeria is another ailment. We've tried to normalize it, saying the kid is absolutely normal. Okay? He may look 65, a 13-year-old boy, looks 5 times his age, but he's a normal boy. What we've tried to capture in this film is not the pain of progeria. It's the normalcy of the boy. I mean, you could have done the film in 2 ways. You could have captured the absolute pain and the problems of progeria. We're not doing that. All we are trying to do is saying, here is a boy who's normal despite all these ailments that he has. So we've captured the normalcy of the boy.